Peter's sister, and there are two other sisters here, Mary and Amy. And you may or may not know, but Peter came from a big family, 9 children. But we're, as a big family, I'm always used to being in the big family, and then we have the in-laws come in, so it's really different to be the outlaws. But to see you all gathered, and it's really inspirational to see what a family you are. So I just congratulate you for what closeness and love that you've shared. And Tom, in our lives, you know, again, he was coming from the outside, and we already had this family going. But I want to say that even though he didn't maybe fit in sports when he was in high school, he fit into the sports in the Kratz family, and here's how. We have a family reunion every 2 years, and we try our darndest to all get together, and it looks pretty much like this, you know. And we have a baseball game, and everybody plays, whether you're 2 or 72, and we have sides and et cetera, et cetera. And Tom is the referee. And of course, he is fantastic because not only does he know baseball, he knows relationships and he knows children. So Tom will be just, you know, do the big call, whatever it is, and we'll all look at him like, really? And then he'll make up this obscure rule because it'll be some 4-year-old who really needs to get on base. He'll say, yes, because if you have a red shirt on, you really get to have a 20-yard leadoff. So Tom has served as our referee for years in our baseball games, and we remember that fondly. And that was his role in sports. So.
I just wanted to say, I'm Uncle Tom's niece, Allison. I'm Courtney's daughter. And I just want to thank Uncle Tom and Pete for great memories and for my children to come here and have wonderful memories to pass on to now their children and my grandchildren is very special. And when I think of Uncle Tom, one of my favorite things that's going to make me feel good about him is just when he gets excited or upset, you know, him going like this with his hand and his rings making the sound. I mean, that's just, you know, I've been doing it a lot lately because it just makes me feel good. But that's what I'm going to think about when I want to think about Uncle Tom. I love him, and he's always going to be in my heart. So. And thank you, Peter.
When I married Allison, and I'm a contractor and a builder, and I came down and I met Uncle Tom.
Speak up, Dad.
When I met Uncle Tom and Uncle Pete, you know, me and Allison, we broke up a couple of times as our family grew, like all young people do. And I came down, I was going to leave. I'm going to just go work for Uncle Tom and Pete. I want to work for movie stars. And I was young, and I came down and I spent a couple of weeks here, and I play guitar and sing, and I wanted to go make records and stuff, and they were very nice and took me in, and then Uncle Tom and Pete, they said, well, you know, Allison's our niece, and we like you and everything, but you know, you're a little unstable. We can't possibly have you work for us if you can't hold that together. How are you going to hold it together? And a huge project, and basically, you know, I didn't get the job. But we grew so close together. All of a sudden, we were corresponding, and then more children were coming, and the band was going away, and construction was coming, and we grew so close together that they would come up there and be at our house at Christmas. That one picture at the top in the middle, that's our house. And that's much later on. My son graduated as a Marine. Jason and Joey left in the Navy, and they never failed either. We were here or there. We were at Thanksgiving, or we'd come down, or they'd come up there, and it was just such an amazing relationship, because it's exactly like my son said. Tom and Pete were, I mean, you got real conversation from them. They didn't dish out bullshit. You know, they tell you like it is, and you swallow that, and then you become a better person. I'm such a better person.
Here, here. And so I don't really,
interesting to hear all the stories and everything, because I only sort of know Tom from that dimension, and but I've known both of them for quite a while, and I just wanted to share one story. It's kind of interesting because I picked up this little pamphlet, and it's describing Tom here, and one of the things it says is passionate, and the other one is generous contributor of opinion. And, you know, when I heard Tom passed away, I was thinking about him, and the word that came to my mind was passionate also. And I'm just remembering one particular job that we were working on is for a good friend of Pete and Tom's, Dusix, I don't know if they're here. But so we were sort of designing this kitchen, and Tom had an opinion about things, and I had an opinion about things, and I suppose I'm a little bit like Tom in that way. I'm real passionate about what I do. So it was really kind of an interesting exchange, and something I'll never forget, but I really had a lot of respect for Tom because of his passion in what he did. And you know, when I think about him, that's what I think about, is his overwhelming passion for what he did. And obviously there's a lot of other areas that he had the same passion in that I wasn't aware of at that time. Anyway, that's what I remember, and I'm very grateful to Tom and Pete for all the work they've given me through the years. And also for the professionalism that they exhibit in their jobs, because for me, I love working with people like that. It makes a big difference in my life.
Yo conozco a Tomás hace 11 años.
I've known Tommy at least 11 years.
Cuando conocí a Tomás, mi vida cambió.
When I met him, my life changed.
No cambió materialmente,
It didn't materially change,
sino espiritualmente.
but spiritually.
Porque Tomás me hizo, ok, yo era un muchacho un poco salvaje.
I was a little bit of a heathen, a savage.
Pero cuando conocí a Tomás, mi mente empezó a cambiar.
But when I met Thomas, my mind started to change.
Empecé a ver la vida de otra manera.
I saw the life in another way.
Y cuando empecé a ver la vida de otra manera, mi vida empezó a cambiar positivamente.
When my mind started to change in other directions, my life changed in a positive direction.
Él me regaló un libro a mí que es Los Cuatro Acuerdos.
He loaned me the book, The Four Agreements.
Y ese libro de Los Cuatro Acuerdos fue una experiencia
And that book was an experience,
muy grande para mí,
a huge experience for me,
porque cambió mi mente,
because my mind changed,
mi forma de pensar,
the way I thought.
tanto que estoy aquí.
So much so that I'm here.
Y ahora yo me estoy ganando la vida con mi sudor, con mi trabajo.
Now I'm getting,
Earn my living with
yeah, I'm making a living now doing what I like,
Porque él me enseñó eso,
because he taught me that.
de que la vida se la tiene que ganar uno mismo.
That you have to earn your life, you have to make your life.
Es lo mejor, la mejor amistad que he tenido en mi vida
He's the best friend I've had in my life,
ha sido Tom,
is Thomas,
porque cambió mi vida,
because he changed my life,
mi vida positiva.
and my positive life.
I love you, Tom.
I love you.
I'm Tom's nephew and business partner, Willie. And when I say Tom, it's really Tom and Pete. And, they were my uncles, and they are my uncles, and always had a huge impact on my life, even as a child. And I think the thing that really describes Tom, along with Pete, is A, enthusiasm, B, integrity, passion, and also opinionated. And a couple of examples of that is when I first came to work for him, there was a huge project $9 million project that we worked on. And it was the biggest project of their life, their career. And I was fortunate enough to get in on the ground floor. And it was really famous interior designers and architects involved in this process. And it was evident that this head architect really was, he was the one that designed the building originally and had his vision of how this building should be. But Tom realized that it's not the architect's vision, it's the vision of the homeowner. And those are the people that are going to be living there. And what I really admired about that was he put his business, along with Pete, on the line when a famous interior designer said we wanted our subcontractor to do these finishes, these super high-end finishes that they were going to fly in from Europe and do these intricate finishes. And Tom, flat out, right in the meeting, in front of the homeowner, a billionaire, who's a billionaire, not a millionaire, a billionaire, says, give us the opportunity to bring our sub in to do the sample, and if he can't match the sample or do it to your satisfaction, we'll defer to your sub, but we're either going to do it that way or we're not going to do the job. And not many people step up to the plate like that. You know, and of course our guys, which Russ here is, we go to bat every job for Russ. He's the best that I've ever worked with, and he's phenomenal. But that just showed to me how much he believed in people. And sometimes it was frustrating, quite frankly, because Tom, on another project, he'd be walking down the street talking to somebody and saying, oh, you're a cabinet maker. You know, and he goes, okay, and then he goes, Willie, we've got this new cabinet maker. He's going to do this on Beechwood for us. Well, I said, Tom, we already got a cabinet. No, he's the greatest guy you're ever going to meet in your life. You know, this is Juan, and he's amazing. Guys met him for 15 minutes. So long story short, the guy never produces, and I'm frustrated because we're trying to get this job done. It was a spec project that we did, and I had to track the guy down into South Central and threaten him by violence to give us our money back, and Russ ended up finishing the job. But that was the beauty of Tom, that really created his own reality. And sometimes it amazed me because his perspective was out of this world. I mean, nobody saw it but Tom, you know, and sort of transcended negativity, exactly. He transcended negativity, and he was so enthusiastic, yet he was so honest. And another example of that, which drove Pete and I crazy a bunch of times, is we're doing this big project and we're 3/4 down, and you know, we're $8 million in, and then he goes to the homeowner, you know, you're basically living in a fishbowl. You know? And he was right. He was right, but that's how Tom was. He just said it the way he felt it. And he was just the greatest blessing. And I gotta say, again, it's Tom and Pete. And Pete is not blood in the family, but he's just as much blood as all my blood relatives here.
Every year we would get a box, and it would have the Christmas presents, and it was just something, just the thought. He didn't have to do that. We were in our 30s, we had kids, we were gone, we rarely saw, but he did that. Birthdays. One of my favorite birthdays was, I think I was turning 11 or 12, and Nancy was still with us at the time, was 9. And because our birthdays were so close together, we got a combo. And this is the time where Uncle Pete and Tom were working on their very first house that we were living in at the time while they were doing construction in Burbank. And so money was tight. They didn't have this beautiful home. They were still, you know, working to get the foundation going. And all Uncle Tom, you know, when you're 9, 10, 11-year-old girls, you are dying for any clue, okay? It was 2 weeks away, which was an eternity. And Nancy like, what is it? What is it? And all Uncle Tommy would say, well, one gift is tangible and the other intangible. So the first thing I did, I'm in the dictionary. Intangible. I can't touch one of them. So we waited, we're going back and forth. Is it a pony? Is it an aquarium? Are we going to Disneyland? Blah, blah, blah. So the day comes for our gift. And Pete and Tom, and I think you still had Colette at the time. I don't know if you had Colette at Burbank.
Oh, I
The
think
poodle
so.
dog?
Yeah, the big standard poodle.
Yeah, the
So
poodle
Nancy, the standard poodle, and I are in the back seat of the MG,
Fiat.
the Fiat, excuse me, and they're in the front. And we're driving down Hollywood. We're like, where are we going? Okay, and I'm like, well, it's not a pony because they wouldn't take the dog, and it's not a fish aquarium. So pulls into Taco Bell. We got Taco Bell for our lunch, and we saw Star Wars. That was the intangible, right? So that was the beginning of the end for the Star Wars thing. But one big thing that I'd like to say about Uncle Tommy is that not in addition to the passion, to all of the good that he did, he talked a lot to me and to my ex about growing up gay and the torture that he went through and how he had to hide who he was and all of the suffering that he did. He opened up a lot to me about this. And I never realized how he impacted me in the fact that I don't see people like that. I have so many friends that I didn't realize were gay because I don't see them with those blinders. I see them as who they are because that's how my uncle was. He was my Uncle Tom. He was no more, no less. It had nothing to do with anything. So I think that's the best gift he gave me. The ability to look at somebody from within and who the person is on the inside and not how they dress and not what they wear and not what they say and not who they sleep with. It's who they are and how they are with you. Yeah, that was my...
I'd like to say something. I'm going to need you as a crutch, so I'm going to start crying. I'm Nancy's best friend. I've known the Conways and family since like 8th grade, yeah, pretty much. First time I came here I was like 13 and Nancy and I went swimming in the pool, we went in the jacuzzi and we giggled and told secrets. And I remember we spent the night, it was in there, we were sleeping on twin beds. We had little it was like twin beds or cots or something. You guys hadn't really set up that room yet, but there was no big screen TV in it or anything, but we loved it. We thought we were on a slumber party. Oh, here's my little one. And the next morning, I just remember feeling so welcome. I've never met these men before, but I just feeling so welcome. And to see this sea of family. And Uncle Tom will always be Uncle Tom to me. I don't care if he's blood or not. He will always be Uncle Pete to me. These are my family. And you can see what an amazing people they are. From the amazing people here honoring him today. So I think all of you are just a testament of what a great person Tom